Hey, I'm Kelly here at Don't Run with Scissors, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, 4 crazy rescue dogs, a rescue cat, and 3 rescue guinea pigs who likes to craft in her spare time, has gone back to school to be an ASL interpreter, and is trying to train for Ironman. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message. It boosts my serotonin and my self-esteem, and I could use that. And if you're returning, go ahead. You already know the crazy you're in for. Grab your drink, sit on back, and let's have at it. I just got home probably within the last 2 hours from stitchcon weekend B. B for the best weekend. It was definitely different than last year's stitchcon. Um, and that's okay because, whatever. I still sat at table 31. Um, I took a lot of pressure off myself. I took a bunch of projects. At the last minute, I decided to sort of go into it with the idea of doing 12 by 12. Clearly more than, we were stitching for more than 12 hours, but like changing projects every so often kind of thing. And when I do 12 by 12 for New Year's with like Kia B and Pam from Just Keep Stitching, what I always say is, if I feel in a groove and I want to just keep going on a project, I do. I don't necessarily switch it out on the hour. So I may on New Year's Eve for 12 by 12 or whatever, I've done it up for other holidays as well. I may not get to all 12 of my projects, and that's okay. So I gathered up some projects that I thought I might want to touch and work on or whatnot, and off I went. I did not participate in the Smalls Exchange. And I had some trepidation about that, and then it's always the fear of like, well, I want to do everything and be everything, and I don't want to let people down. And so that was huge for me to just say, you know what, I can't do it. Can't do it. There's just no way that I could have physically added any more to my plate. And so I didn't do it. I didn't get the floss drops done. I didn't get the pattern done. So I had found a bunch of the cards from Hillbilly Candle Company. I had about 40-ish containers of thread wax, and I just started at the top of the room and worked my way as long as I had them, passed them out with a couple cards for each table. They seem to go over really well with people. I hope so, because I want my friend John and his son and their business to go over well. I want it to do well. So I did that. I did take my brag table item, because I know it would make Kim happy that this gets more exposure. And it's funny because the feedback that I did get from it was very positive and people loved her. So if you're not familiar, this is Mother Bulba, and I have stitched it on an ecru, like a creamy color, maybe ivory, whatever. It's an off-white 14 count Ada. The pattern is from a designer on Etsy. I'm not sure that this pattern is still available, to be honest with you, but I think she's fantastic. As I shared at StitchCon, I have been asked if I will stitch it again, but in shades of blue, and I have been given free reign if I want to bedazzle her with the blue. And it was funny because I was like blue, a blue, and they're like, blue is the Blessed Mother's color, and yes, and I'm like, you do understand what this is, right? And they did, and I just want to make sure. So stay tuned. There's no deadline on that. They have given me, they're like, when you get it done, you get it done. It's not a big deal. I was like, oh, those are the kind of pieces I like when people ask me to stitch them. So I did that. So stitchcon was really the big thing. Did I do other things this last week? Yes, I did lots of work in getting ready for stitchcon. Um, I have homework to do tomorrow to get, ready for Tuesday. But honestly, I didn't even open my laptop. I took my laptop with me. I did take a client call. Um, but I didn't even open my laptop and do work. That's how, yeah. Um, it was just kind of crazy. So, I'm gonna show you what I stitched. I'm gonna show you. I have a lot of haul. Like it's crazy. And some other things. So we'll just start at it. So somebody passed out these adorable little I think they're frogging pins. So like if you have to pick out your mistake stitches. So it's a little frog. And I just think that's adorable. And then they had also done little beeswax. He's a dinosaur. He's a dinosaur. I like dinosaurs. I did not knit. I did take my sweater to restart. I had undone it. Um, but I didn't even knit, honestly. We got lots of floss cards. Not as many this year doing floss drops as before, which, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of bummed. Because I have gotten into really liking floss drops. Um, and I need a bunch. So I was kind of bummed. Sucker. Um, which my kids appreciate. Then we got these little flossers. I like the little bag, and that's so these are little wax drops, and they're shaped like different fruits. Um, I will say that while I enjoy the shapes, um, and they are nice chunks of pure wax, I probably won't use them. I don't. I may. Who knows? Um, so in the mail from Bobby at Pumpkin Creek Primitives, I ordered the puffins and the penguins for my series. I did go online and I did not print it off for y'all. Y'all know what it probably looks like. And if you don't, go to the Hands On Designs website. Um, I did purchase the Norwal. When you purchase the Norwal, um, I believe all of the pattern cost, so it's $10. It's a PDF. It will be available indefinitely, and for whenever the pattern sells, all of the money, the $10, will go to Special Olympics of wherever Kathy Haberman lives, whatever state that is. I want to say, she lives like in the middle of nowhere, but I don't remember what state it is. So, along with that though, like, look at me. And somewhere in here is my bag, and you'll see it in a moment. I did buy the little boards from Chantel 141 on Etsy, um, so that I can actually. I'm not gonna just buy white. I'm not gonna pay extra. Okay, no offense to anybody. I can buy white rickrack at Joann's with a coupon and spend pennies versus and really and truly it's white rickrack. Sorry. I'm not buying fancy rickrack. Um so I did do that. So I got those in. Let me see if I can just pull out that bag. Here we go. So so it goes with the whale, the polar bear, and the walrus, and then the narwhal. Um, I did splurge while I was at Keepsakes. It's in a different package right now. And I did go ahead and buy the fancy floss. The Weeks dye. I think it's Weeks. No. It's not weeks. It can't be weeks. Please don't let it be weeks. I don't like weeks. Classic Colorworks. I like stitching with Classic Colorworks. I did not splurge for the black or for the white because there's really no variegation in those, so there's no point. But like especially for the green trees, as Kathy pointed out, because one skein will do all 6. So that is helpful because, you know, they have an order to them. Well, that's weird. Okay, so they're numbered like HD 278. So 279, 280. Okay, that makes sense. But then 282 and 283 are missing. But the series is seriously 6 patterns. And the 6th is Norwal. Kathy, what you doing? Were you drinking when you like number these? Because that doesn't make sense. Anyways, so the green for the variegated trees makes sense. So I did that. Okay, so those will go in my ornament bag. This is my ornament bag. I know you didn't know it was my ornament bag, but it is my ornament bag. So I had a start and a finish. Why my start and finish isn't... Oh, because I already pulled it out of the bag. Hello, Kelly. For those of you who are new here, you understand. Past Kelly does weird things to future Kelly. And now present Kelly has to deal with past Kelly. So past Kelly apparently already pulled it out. So while there, on a piece of Fortnite fabric, it was an ornament cut from a Buy Me Now that I had gotten before all of the drama. That's what this is stitched on. This is the Christmas hippo from the Blue Flower, Janine McGowan. He's so cute. Everybody keeps calling him Fiona, my hippo Fiona. My hippo's name is not Fiona. I love Fiona the hippo. Don't get me wrong. I love me Fiona the hippo and her little brother. Love them, right? I forget what the brother's name is. And I know y'all are yelling at me through the screen, but I forget. Okay. It's not. Because if you search on YouTube for the North American house hippo commercial, you will understand. So Bean has fallen in love. Hang on one second. Sorry about that. Crisis averted, kind of. Okay, so this is an ornament for my daughter. Originally, I was going to give it to my mother. I'm not. It's going to be. It is all of the call for except for the white for the Santa hat and the pom-pom. I think I have teeny tiny jingle bells here at the house somewhere. And when I find them, I'm going to pop a jingle bell over the white pom-pom. So this is not a hippopotamus. This is a North American house hippo. So I started this and I finished it the same day. I know. I was not expecting to ring the bell and finish anything at stitchcon, if you all remember. I absolutely did not anticipate that, and I actually ring it. So then on a piece of fabric that came from, it was gifted to us by the dyer, who happened to be at StitchCon again this year. She gifted us fabric last year as well. It is the fabric that I split. I got a piece of linen. I got a piece of linen. Stephanie got a piece of Ada. We cut them in half and split them. And it is Wonderland hand-dyed fabrics. If I remember, I'll try to pop the information below. So this year she was giving out this beautiful, it's called mock turtle. It's this beautiful green. And its color is not showing up at all. It's maybe kind of right there. Okay. So I started a second ornament. And we all were debating which ornament I would start. because in my bag I also have the patterns. Okay, while I have this out, because we're doing the things. We're doing the things. We know how I work. Okay. So what I started was by Tiny Modernist. It's the donkey biscornu. I am not going to stitch the donkey 4 times. I'm stitching the donkey 1 time. I'm going to make him an ornament because he is Dominic the Christmas donkey. If you know, you know. I'm going to change the flowers that are in his head and in his pack so that they look more like poinsettias. Initially I was thinking maybe I'd chart them so that they look like Christmas gifts in his pack. I'm just going to stitch them red with gold centers, like a poinsettia. Because yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I started him. Okay, so I should have paid attention when I pulled the call force. In my picture and on the website, I thought he was a gray donkey. Does he not look like a gray donkey? I thought he was a gray donkey. I wanted a gray donkey. So I started him. He is not a gray donkey. He's a brown donkey. It's brown. I don't want a brown donkey. Dominic the donkey is not brown. He is gray. I know far too much about Christmas songs. Far too much. Really. So I'm going to unpick this. And I'm going to apparently change the browns to grays. So then I was like, great. So also in my bag, this is my question. Okay, so by Autumn Lane Stitchery, I have Santa. I have Frosty. I have Mrs. Claus. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there Rudolph a reindeer? Is the reindeer out of the magazine too, or did I buy him? Does anybody know? I think he's on Etsy. Did I buy him? I don't remember. So I have those in my bag to work on. And then I also have, I won these from Patty over at 4 Boys and an NL Girl. These are the seaside ornaments. So we have Winter Puffin. Because puffins. We have the Winter Seal. So cute. So fun. The Winter Seagull. Flying Rat. Beach Rat. And those are the series. Pretty sure. Yes. And then also in here is my little Design Works kit. So that's where I'm at that. And then I have like a couple little, so on the freebie table at StitchCon was this lovely bag. It's vinyl front and back. I think Tracy put it on the table, and I happened to luck out when she put it down, and I snagged it because I did. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in here yet, but I will find something, because when you see how much I bought, you will know. So I went with an overall budget. Did I break my budget? No. Did I go over this section of stitchy stuff? Yeah. Yes, I did. Okay, so I did get the classic Colorworks for the hands-on design. that series because, well, first of all, hello. Key Largo is so, like, this may be one of my new favorite colors. I'm pretty sure I have Ribbon Red already from the Christmas one that I did. That Fields of Green is so pretty. So pretty. Now, in retrospect, if I was... So I just ordered them on this, like, from a sleep of paper, and then... No, I come back downstairs and I was having trouble with my back and my legs, and I was actually in a lot of pain. And the thought of going back upstairs to like compare, I was like, yeah, I can't do it. I physically can't do it. And so I had them pull, and usually what I do is, if I'm going, my decision between do I use the DMC or do I use the fancy floss is there enough variegation in something that it makes a difference? Because if it's essentially a solid, I'm going to save my... We're trying to get Maisie to go outside. It's just I'll save my money and I'll just use the DMC. So in retrospect, like, in having them in front of me now, I probably would have just used the DMC. So if you're looking and you have not purchased the classic Colorworks versus the DMC, I would go ahead and get the Field of Green. I probably would go with this DMC conversion of Stepping Stone and the DMC for Thundercloud. Mine at least don't have much variegation. Honeycomb, I would probably go ahead. There's enough variegation that I think it will make a difference. Key Largo is definitely do the classic Colorwork. Not I'm a little on the fence with Mint Julep. I think I would do it. I think I would recommend doing it. Ribbon Red, I think I would have just done the DMC. And then Persimmon and Tartan Plaid, I would do the classic Colorworks. The white and the black, I would just use DMC. And in fact, I just would have had it. I thought I would just keep working on them. Because I also found the fabric I'm going to use and bought that. So I bought a half a... Oh, please. My poor little bag. Okay, so I might be in trouble because my my ornament things may not fit because the called for is 32 count, stitch 2 over 2, and I bought 28 count. And I bought a full not a full yard. I bought a half yard of it. And it's Greystone Fabrics, and it's called Lizzie, which I just realized it's called Lizzie. But it's this beautiful... I fell in love with the blue. And it does have a touch of green that's not really showing up there. I'm going to go ahead and use this. But... And then I may have to adjust, and I don't know... I may just have to adjust the template. I think there may be enough border around here that I may be okay. I hope. I hope I didn't waste money. We'll see. We'll see. If not, I'm sure there's something else I can find to use those little ornament tags for, and I'll figure it out. So that's just an ongoing bag that I'll pull out. Okay. Oh, there's still a boatload more. This is going to be a long one, y'all. Okay, so I did take my whip go pull of Monopoly, and I worked one afternoon on Monopoly. And in that time, I got the rest of, on the two sides, all of these blocks divided out. So it's still got 9 more days this month that it will see the light of day. And then it's actually got 9 more days this month to stitch on it. And then it's on my board one more time. So 19 days technically. Okay. So this, since I finished my little girl with the ponytail, this is actually my oldest whip I have. And I started this, the kids I think were in kindergarten. The kids are 22 and a half and in college now. So I have, what I had initially thought of is that I would do a set of 8 placemats for my mom. Then I was like, does she really need 8? I mean, seriously, does she? When is she going to need 8? So now I'm thinking, I don't know. So anyways, long story short, my mother may not be getting these. I may just stitch up 4 for myself and call it a day. So I had the one done, and this is, and the second one, I had the outline of his head, and that was all that was stitched. So late last night, I finished. Oreo, no bark. Where's your ball? Get your ball. He's still learning. He's digging me. Where's your ball? Okay. So late last night, I finished the back stitching for the words, and I have the second one done. Did I miscount in there? Yes, I did. Is it exactly like the first one? No, it is not. Am I going to restitch it? No, I am not. Hold, please. Talk amongst yourselves. So we worked on that because I was like, that would be really cool to have my oldest whip done and to just keep knocking them out. So I think a set of 4 is going to be fine because I can just put them at my house. And then I can use the Ada that's in there and make ornaments or whatever. So I did work a bit on Miss Rosie. Got a little bit more in here done. So that was good. They can all use them. It's okay. And then I pulled out my small project. And that would be the periodic table. And really and truly, the I put a picture up on Instagram. I got 10 more boxes outlined in the one day that I worked on it at stitchcon. What I will say is my fabric is absolutely filthy. So I will be honest, I may sew the edges that are open, like without the selvage, and I may throw it in the wash because it's pretty skanky. So Actually, I got more than 10, but that's okay. So, all that. Here, just go look at it on Instagram because it takes 2 of us to hold it up, and so yeah, that's where we're at. So, Daphne, I will get yours out in the mail this week. I picked up the Praiseworthy Stitches Sal, or Pattern for Courage. This is the Sal, and this is the pattern that Pam picked from Just Keep Stitching. She picked it to mark her anniversary of being diagnosed with breast cancer. Now she has beaten it and she's doing well, so yay. So I had debated whether or not I was going to do it. I'm like, and if I did it, I wasn't going to ever do it in pink. Have I had scares with breast cancer myself? Yes. In fact, I have a biopsy marker that is in my chest. But it didn't resonate with me, and I have family members and things like that with, that I don't know where this came out of. But I didn't want to do it in pink. The pink is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. The pink is beautiful. The fabric that was picked out and dyed for it and the floss pack's gorgeous. So I am doing a color conversion based on the colors that represent intracranial hypertension, which is the condition that I have that has led to all of the brain surgeries. So I found a really pretty blue from Threadworks, obviously, because it tends to label. It is color 11383. It's this beautiful blue variegated. I will say the one thing I don't like about both of these thread companies, though, is that they've determined and cut the length of my floss. And thankfully right now, to be honest, I mean, Threadworks is a decent length. I wish it was a little longer. And the same thing with Forbidden Fiber Co. I'm a little frustrated with that. But I got this lovely tag from Bobo Jessie Stitches. If you are not watching Bobo Jessie Stitches on YouTube, you should. She's sweet. And she's even sweeter in person. Like, honestly, I had such a joy meeting her finally face to face. We have talked over the years because we're both attorneys, and it was really cool to connect with her. So she has her and Pam from In the Land of Good Enough. If you're not watching Pam's Floss Tube, another good floss tuber to watch. Can you get whatever's in Oreo's mouth out of Oreo's mouth? So her thought is, and Jessie, please correct me if I'm wrong, is that not everybody can afford to not only attend an event like stitchcon, but that sometimes putting in the effort to create hundreds of floss tags, it's hard. So her thought is, like, you create one if you can, because the whole, oh my god, you have to like do all this stuff for the people you're sitting at the table with, and you have to do these for this exchange and that for this exchange. It's a lot on a person. Like, it's a lot. And so we need to sort of shift our thinking so that it's a reasonable expectation for everybody. So her thought is, if everybody who can and wants to just gifted everybody one floss drop like that they designed, then you would use those floss drops to kit up your project that you started at that event. And those floss drops would remind you of the people that you met at that event. And I love that idea. So it lucked out because Jessie's floss drops were already pre-punched. A lot of them that I got weren't, and I don't have my hole puncher at StitchCon, so it worked out well. So I am using the Threadworks color, and then by Forbidden Fiber Co. I'm sure you can see that. The green that I am using is Pickle. it looks, it is the brightest, like, those are IH, yeah, those are the colors of the IH awareness ribbon right there. So then, with the help of Susan at Keepsakes, we found this amazing fabric. It is gorgeous. What has he got? Your donut wrapper. If my dog dies because he's eating your chocolate donut crap or gets sick, you're paying the bill. Okay. So I went with, so I asked Susan was helping me because we had to calculate. Okay, so the Praiseworthy Design Stitches calls for 2 flosses. It's 2 shades of pink. And the main one you need 9 skeins, and the other, like that's just the lighter highlights, you only need 2 skeins. Well, so that's 11 skeins total. Okay, great. But I'm not going to follow the way this charted as far as lights and darks. And so that didn't help me. I needed to understand, like, if I take 11 skeins of floss and I divide it roughly in half, am I going to have enough? And Threadworks flosses are not traditional, like, okay, so Forbidden Fiber Co. puts 6 yards on a floss thing. DMC, I want to say, is 5 yards. And Threadworks is like 8 or 10. Oh no, I lied. Threadworks is 20 yards. Like, hello, math. Who does the math? So while I needed 6 Forbidden Fiber Co., I only needed 2 of the blue, and that still gives me quite a bit of cushion. But I would rather have too much than to worry about having to track it down and not having the right dye lots and all of that. So I was like, okay. So Susan helped me find the right fabric to put it on, and we ended up with the fabric by Atomic Ranch. This is my first fabric by Atomic Ranch. We went with an 18 count because 18 count is just kind of a nice, easy Aida to stitch on, and not have it so that the piece is going to be huge. But it's in the color Sky, and it is totally not showing up at all. Let's see. That's a little bit better. It looks like sky. It literally looks like a blue sky. And I mean, pickle, I mean, how would I not stitch on? If you know, you know. I love pickles. Love pickles. And green olives. And all is right in the world if you have pickles and green olives. And they just, they're so not showing up right there. Yeah. Uh-huh. So technically, so Stephanie is going to also, Stephanie, my table mate, is also going to stitch this. And she did not get a chance to start it at StitchCon. So we actually decided that July 1st is the date we're going to start it. Now, that said, I cheated. I ended up starting it today. You could beat me later, Stephanie. That means you have to find me. The other thing, Stephanie surprised me, and unfortunately, well, not for unfortunately, it's already in Elmo. She had somebody crochet me a hat that looks like Elmo. It is so cute. So my hat is actually on my headrest. It replaced the one that I did because it's way better, and it's a gift from a friend, and it's just amazing. And I love it. And Stephanie took a picture of me, and I'll post it on Instagram of me, and I'm just like in my little hat, in my Elmo hat, and I just love it. So oh look, here's more haul because you know. This one is actually a Georgia Girl Stitches D-stash. It is a, y'all, some days. Okay, so if you have not read from Georgia Girl Stitches, they very unexpectedly, they had it like a 6-month-old, I think, her dog was like 6 months old, puppy, who ended up they had to put the puppy to sleep the other day, very unexpectedly. Something to do with stomach. And so she was doing, and she's doing a like D-stash sort of thing. But part of the money, I think, is to help cover the vet bills from the surgery, that because they did try to save her and were unable to, and still give her puppy a quality of life where she wouldn't be needing more and more surgery. So I picked this one up. This is a 40 count. 40 count linen by Fox and Rabbit in the color Ocean Air. Do we see a theme in what Kelly put stitches on? Okay, but wait, there's more. So while there, I also got to have lovely conversations with Jessie Marie Dustoff, who is the inventor of Whipco. Her and I had a great conversation. I got to talk a bit with Pam and Steph. I talked a bit with Tracy from OG Stitchery. I talked a bit with Candace K. I had some great conversations with other people. I got to meet Pam from In the Land of Good Enough, Jessie from Bobo Jessie Stitches. I also got to meet Kia B from, well, Kia from Kia B. And let's just say that there were some tears shed this weekend. None of them, they weren't bad tears. So I think, okay, while I'm pretty open about my story and having had brain surgeries and whatnot and some of the struggles, you know, I tried to be transparent, because if there's ever a way for me to help somebody, Lord have mercy, if there's ever a way that my story and what I've endured can help somebody else, then I feel like that's a really good thing. And that's an amazing gift that I can give somebody else. And one of the conversations this weekend allowed me to answer some questions that a mom had, and help put into perspective maybe what their child can't put into words, because they don't have the vocabulary to explain to them. But also hopefully gave that mom hope that their child has a bright future. Like, there's still a wonderful, I have very few limitations from my neurosurgeon on what I can and can't do. I can't go deep sea scuba diving. I can't hang out with a bunch of magnets stuck to my head. I mean, like, and for that I'm grateful. Has it been hard? Yeah. You know, like I was explaining to her, you know, after the first 8 brain surgeries happened in a span of 104 days. And I lost my sense of balance. And if you don't have a sense of balance, it's really hard to walk. And I couldn't walk on my own. I had to relearn how to walk, because I had to relearn how to balance myself. And that meant, too, I had to relearn how to ride a bike. And I went from riding a single bike to all of a sudden I'm in the back seat of a tandem. You know, I had to relearn running. And I also forgot how to breathe under, like, in water when you're swimming. So there were a lot of things, and there were other things too, but like I had to relearn a lot of skills, and to the average person it may not seem like, okay, well, okay. There is nothing more frustrating when you have no control over your own body, because you used to be able to do something, but you can't do it now, and that is gut wrenching. And to say to this mom, it's okay, because once his brain heals and he relearns those skills, he'll be okay. Trust me. 5-time half Iron man, but for a freak medical thing that happens to normal athletes too, on the Ironman course, I would have been an Ironman. I will be an Ironman one day. Um, on the way down, I did stop at my law school, and there were some law professors around, and I didn't realize that not all of my law school professors. First of all, Ada, Ohio has completely changed how they got there. They have a Starbucks and a McDonald's now. When I was in Ada, Ohio, going to law school, we did not have a population big enough to support a McDonald's. The campus is huge compared to what it was. It's insane. So I stopped by to see if I could get the signature I need. And the one professor that was there, that was, that I know, he's like, yeah, I already signed it. I can't sign it in both spots. And I was like, so we went, and not all of the law school professors are admitted to practice in front of the Supreme Court of the United States. We finally found one who actually came to law school right after I graduated. And so she interviewed me a little bit, and we talked and had a great conversation. And she signed my motion to be admitted into the Supreme Court of the United States of America. So I can practice and go into the chambers and into the gallery and watch debates. But yeah, I can, like, so I am waiting on I had to get an updated copy of the standing from the state bar that says I am in good standing. And then I can mail off my admittance to the Supreme Court of the United States of America. Bucket list. Like, it was so exciting. But, like, I got to say to my new city friend, like, yeah, you know what? I've had 10 brain surgeries too. I've had my brain lifted out of my spinal column during 2 of them. I have extra holes in my head. She got to touch the shunt, like, because you can feel the valve, like, it's completely under my skin. But it's like, yeah, here's the shunt valve. This is what it feels like from the outside. Here's where the tubing crosses my collarbone. I can feel it. This is where it is. Like, go ahead and push. Like, it's not gonna hurt me. Like, it's okay. But I got to look at her and go, yeah, I'm being admitted to practice, to be allowed to practice and argue in front of the Supreme Court of the United States of America. That is something not every attorney can say. And I get to say it. And that's in spite of having 10 brain surgeries. That's in spite of 7 years ago having to learn to walk again. Do I have bad days where I feel like absolute shit? Yes. Can I tell you when it's going to change weather? Oh, yeah. I'm more accurate than a weatherman. Can I laugh about certain things now? Yeah. Was it hard? Yes. But your little guy is going to be okay. So, anyways. Sorry. It was an emotional weekend. There were some other things going on that was making me question. And I had some anxiety, as you guys know, like, going into stitchcon, like maybe I wasn't gonna go, and all of this other stuff. And But I really, honestly, I wanted to see Stephanie. I wanted to see Nicole and stuff like that, and see Rin and Carrie. And I was so excited. And so, I still went. And at the end of the day, and I'm not saying who I had this conversation with because I didn't ask for permission to do that. And at the end of the day, though, that conversation, well, nothing to do with stitching, absolutely nothing, reminds me of why events like this are so important, because you never know who God or whoever you believe in is going to put in your path that you need to talk to, either to help you through something or to help them through something. And so that was pretty amazing. Um, so yeah, so did not mean to be all sappy. We're an hour in, and like we're 51 minutes in, and I'm not even halfway through all of this stuff in my bag, just so you all know. You may want to take a pause and go get another drink. So, I saw this fabric on the table, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in love with this fabric. And you're gonna look at it and go, because it is not anything I would have normally picked, right? And I'm like, I couldn't get this fabric off my mind, and I kept saying to Stephanie, I'm like, I'm in love with that yellow fabric. And she's like, go buy it. I'm like, I have nothing to put on yellow fabric. I don't stitch anything that would make sense on yellow fabric. What the heck? And it is not like a soft, pale yellow. Oh no. This is, man, that's yellow. I couldn't stop thinking about this fabric. And Rin's like, you know what would be really cute on that? I'm like, I don't have fucking like, I don't know, because I'm telling her about this yellow fabric, and I keep talking about the yellow fabric, like, but I haven't bought the yellow fabric, but I really want that. And then I'm thinking, and then all of a sudden it dawned on me, I'm like, shit, I better hurry up and buy this yellow fabric if I want the yellow fabric, because somebody's gonna buy the yellow fabric, and I'm gonna lose out, and then I'm gonna have like regrets for the rest of my life about this yellow fabric. Don't ask. This is my brain. This is my brain. Okay. And what I should have reminded this other person, this mom, is there will be things that you will forget that you bought, but you know you needed at one point, and you will end up buying 27 of them. Um, in my case, I that would have been water bottles after brain surgery. My son had lost my water bottle, and I think I must have bought like 6 or 7 in a week, because every time I would go to the store, I would forget that I'd already replaced the water bottle. Then I would buy another one. We do this. Okay. Add to that, I have ADHD and other things, and yeah. Okay, so the name is misnomer to me, because this is not like the name. It's a Grace Notes fabric. Again, up until this weekend, I've never stitched on a Grace Notes fabric. Um, really, the only fancy dyed fabric that I have stitched, I have some by Fortnite, and I have some by Be Stitch Me. I have 2 pieces that I've stitched on now, because my Dreaming Girl is on Be Stitch Me fabric. She's not finished. Don't judge. Um, and then I did His Name is Jesus on Be Stitch Me. So, and then I have the ornament and Summertime is on, which I did take Summertime, but I did not work on Summertime. Um, so I have never stitched on Grace Notes fabric. Dang it. Dang it. Let me see. It's called White Peach Tea. It's not. It's yellow. He's bright yellow. That's better, but that is, I mean, okay, it's yellow like in parts, almost like a baby duck. Okay, so here's what the final clincher for me buying it is. So I'm telling Rin about this fabric, and she's like, there's a Quaker. And I'm like, a what? Yeah, it's a Quaker. It's a Quaker. And Mad Morty, who I don't normally watch, um, was stitching it. And it's a Quaker where all of the Quaker motifs are ducks. And if you know, you know, because if you're a Jeeper, you duck people. And so I will be buying the Quaker pattern. And I really hope that I have a piece big enough, because I bought a 1/4 of a yard of 28 count of this beautiful yellow fabric. And my Quaker will go on there. When is it going to get started? Not a clue. But I'm telling you, I dreamt of that fabric that night after I saw it, and I didn't buy it. And then I was like literally freaking out that somebody else was going to have bought it. I have lost my damn mind. Oh. So then Stephanie brought a couple pieces of fabric for me and Nicole to divvy up. Now Nicole elected to let me have first dibs because she has a lot of linen, and she's like, look, if you take it all, you're fine. I took most of it. This is one that I was like, I don't know, maybe we should just put this on the freebie table. But then honestly, Stephanie's like, Stephanie, she's so sweet. If y'all don't know Stephanie, you're all missing out on a wonderful human being. She got it in a stitching box, I believe she said. And she just didn't know, like, she doesn't really stitch a whole lot on linen. Especially, she'll do even weave, but this is very clearly linen. So she's like, I have no idea what I'm going to stitch on this. Now, Stephanie's like, oh, like a monochromatic Halloween piece would be amazing. And it absolutely would. But I don't know. So I'm open to suggestions. So we have that. I have no idea the count. I have no idea the maker. It is not a picture of this plus because it's on both sides. So there's that one. Nicole and I both took a piece of this, and both pieces were equal size. I have no idea the count. None. Nope. It's this deep wine burgundy color, and we're gonna pick a pattern, and we're both gonna stitch it. So we have not picked a pattern. So if you have a pattern idea to go on our burgundy fabric, we would appreciate it. The suggestions. Stephanie also bought 2 of these by Silver Creek Sampler. And so I'm glad because this was on my wish list. So it's introverted. But we'll eagerly discuss everything cross stitch. And then this one is by Lindy Stitches, and I just absolutely love it. And you'll see why in just a second. But it says, comb the beach for treasure with me. My heart resides beside the sea. Can we just admire the whale? And the penguin? And the puffin? And the sea lion? And I hope that those are little beads and not little tiny French knots. But I will tell you that if they are not, and they are French knots, they will be beads. Now, I don't mind doing French knots. The other thing is, I don't know why the number 97225 is on there. Like to stitch. But this was specifically designed for the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit 2022. Okay, so they are beads. Thank you. Ooh. This this is a 40 count. This is another piece from Stephanie. It's a 40 count driftwood linen. This is called for fabric is 32 count raw linen by Swagger, 109 inches wide by 188. But I do believe that maybe a winner chicken dinner. Although it's, let me see, or this one's really pretty too. This one's a little bit lighter. I think we'll kit up this one with this. I don't know what it is. I don't know what fabric count it is. Whatever. Listen, if the holes are smaller, it's just gonna take me longer to stitch it. But guess what? It's gonna go in this bag. Maybe. See? This is why we do what we do. Okay. Just add it to the kitty pile. Although there's some fancy blouses and stuff that I have to grab for that. Okay, so let me bag this back up because otherwise. This is the piece of linen from the Barbara Anna designs for Tree of Life. Now, if you recall, I am stitching the Tree of Life. But when I started it, I did not know how to stitch on linen. And so I substituted it out for Ada. I am not going to restart mine. Don't misunderstand that. I'm not doing that. But now I'm debating. So I have the Tree of Christmas Tree of Magic, also by Barbara Anna, that is similarly situated. But that fabric that came with that kit is blue, and I wouldn't want it on blue. So I am debating now stitching Tree of Magic on this piece, but then my trees. The problem is I have the hiccups. The other problem with that is then my trees won't match. Not that they need to. It's not like they're going to get hung up at the same time. It's not like I'm going to ever finish them anyways. Like, come on. I don't finish much. Although I have to stop saying that because, like, I've been on a roll. So I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. So then I also have, like, how cute is that for just a little ornament? And another little ornament piece. So I am very grateful to Stephanie for passing the stash. The other thing I did was grab a grab bag at Keepsakes of fabric, and I let the lady at the register pick which bag because I was like, I'll stitch on whatever. A lot of what they had was linen, and she said that this was her favorite piece of linen, and she absolutely lived it. And so she gave me the only bag that had this piece in it, this fabric in it. What am I going to stitch on this? Well, I'm glad you asked. I have no freaking clue. Not a clue at all. Nope, not a clue. Don't know. Don't know. So if you got an idea, let me know. Now, here's the thing. Like, what am I going to stitch on this? It's not very high. It's probably only about 4 inches high at the deepest end here. Maybe 3.5. What? I don't know. You know what might fit on there? My Polish Easter eggs. That may, now that I'm, like, see? Then there's this. And granted, this is a grab bag. I mean, the whole bag was $15. It's not like, so it's a great tobacco-y brown. It's got a little bit of a green undertone. You totally can't see the color. Like, that's not even close. Don't know what I'm going to stitch on that. Let's see. We have this great piece. I wish this piece was bigger because, and this must be a picture of this plus because does picture of this plus do linen? Because it's plain on the back. So maybe this is like some sort of vintage country mocha thing going down. I don't know. If this was bigger, I would totally stitch my sorority's crest on this. Although I think the chart says it's done on 14 count Aida. And this is clearly much smaller than 14 count Aida, or a higher count than 14 count Aida. This is higher than a 28 count. May need to look, because that would look stunning. Stunning. There's this piece, great for ornaments. Actually, it's a lovely ornament cut. And again, another great ornament cut. Definitely worth the money. I don't always do grab bags like that because I feel like sometimes you're like, what the heck am I gonna do with that? Okay, so in my life I do that a lot. I'm like, what the heck? What was I thinking even? Okay, no wait, oh, again, there's, okay, can we just all admire the bags we got this year? And they're huge. They're huge, which in some ways I do absolutely greatly appreciate because my laptop will fit in here. In my textbooks, and that's a really, really nice bonus to me. Okay, so let's see. So Wonderland Fabrics also has a discourse channel. And so they put together a little a booklet of patterns by designers that are on their Discord channel. And like, here's, come on, how cute is that? Do I want to have a Rippet frog? No, I don't want the frog ever to visit my house. And in fact, when the little stuffed animal frog came around, I wouldn't let it at my table with me. It could not visit me. No, that is bad juju. We don't do that. Bummy Stitches made these adorable little notepads. Who can't use an extra dough? So I know that my Alpha Gamma Delta stitch is, the stitch count is 143 by 117. So apparently it's short, wide and short, like what? Like me. See, Wonderland. Let's see. Here's floss eggs. I don't know who passed these out, but these are freaking fabulous. Let me see. Oh, Pam from the Land of Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. She owns a shop in New England, and she's doing a retreat as well. She did these project tags. Hello. I need about a bazillion of these. That's just freaking brilliant. Pam, I know you don't watch me. Maybe you will now. These are amazing. And on the back, she put, I didn't even know I had, like, did you know that your flosstube channel apparently has a QR code? I did not know that. I don't know how to figure that out. But if you follow the, I don't know, like, if that helps if I hold this up. This will apparently take you to Pam, Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. It's flosstube. Kind of cool. Let's see. Then we have, I don't know what kind of flowers those are. I love flowers. Like, I love to admire them. I can't grow flowers. I am the person you send your flowers to if you want them to die. I'm like the hospice. I will help them peacefully transition into the next life. So I'm lucky I have a second Bobo Stitches floss drop. This was another cool idea. So the first one is like this fancy picture. These are from Heart Song Stitchery. Heart Song Stitchery. But then the next ones in her little stack, which still I love, are just solid cardstock ones. How cool is that? Like, smart. Yeah, I'm not sharing this with you because there's a web code for discount for those of us who attended stitchcon. Let's see. Then I got a stitch. I got a thing of ecru and a 2023 charm. No clue what I'm going to do with the charm. I got This lady came all the way from Maui, and she took this picture. How cool is that? Beautiful. We have cat. We have floss drop of floss drops. Now, that one's nice. But her back is also very cool. Not your address state, you know. So that's cool. Let's see. All right, we got more floss. Oh, I apparently kept the hotel room. Okay. More floss. Okay, so Wonderland Fabric also dyed mock turtle floss that she passed out as well, and you could have floss to go with your why is it all of a sudden like I'm being blown out? Okay. So you could have floss to go with the fabric that she gave out. Somebody at her table, like one of her cohorts, I have tissue in there, passed out like that the floss that they dyed, and what? Oh, this is a, and this thing is really cool. This is why, like, this is why we're going through it. It's a photo card. So you lay this in front of or next to like whatever, like when you're doing floss or whatever. When you go to take pictures, this will help you kind of balance out your colors. Maybe I should do that for my friggin'. So, kind of interesting. And then, okay, so I will admit, I was kind of bummed at this present, actually. Because she gives it to me, and I'm thinking, okay, are y'all thinking what I'm thinking? Like, she hands it like this. I thought it was getting bubbles. This is not bubbles. This is one of those thingies so that you can pick up your extra threads after you frogged it. I was bummed. I thought I was getting bubbles. Okay, so there's more floss drops. Oh, corner gauge. Very cool. But they gave them in these cute little pencil bags. I mean, hello. That's brilliant. Okay, so I got gifted the bunny. It's cute. I think it comes with everything in there. Yes, inside your kit is the pretty gatefold card, 14 count Ada, handy envelope, stranded threads, the color chart, and a key. So put that on. Nicole gifted that to me. Oh, these were on the floss drops that were on the freebie table. That's where I put my receipts and everything. Found this on the freebie table. More floss drops. We don't have to go through every single floss drop because that would be ridiculous. Okay. I went to Keepsakes, and this is the pattern. I actually wanted this pattern last year, and they were out. And I was like, no, you don't have to ship it to me. Like, that's just craziness. So they had it this year, and I'm so excited. Can we just love on that? That is from Praiseworthy Stitches. Can we just love on that drum? And that is the finish at Keepsakes, is that drum. Got a couple stitchy freebies. But I also picked up this, because how could I not? How could I not? They had others in the truck series. They did not speak to me, but this. This is Daphne's copy, so I will be mailing that this week. Everybody got a copy of Just Cross Stitch magazine. How cool is that? Like, that's really nice. That was really nice of them. Apparently, they also had a bunch of stitchers did like a panel so that they could do some updating to their website, to their magazine. So that's kind of cool that they're like listening to everything. What is this? Oh, this is cool. So this is like a zipper pull and a pin, and now I belong to the bad bitch club. Can we just love that duck? Let's save those. Save those for this. There's my tablet. We can't lose the tablet. I also, this chunk of fabric here, somebody brought in a bunch of quilting fabric. I was like, well, maybe you guys, you know, just divide it up kind of thing so that you guys can use it for finishes. And so, like, that was super, super duper cool. Let's see. I got to go through and rummage through a big basket of charms and got a bunch of charms. Somebody was passing out little tubes of beads. And then Nicole gave me hers, which I appreciate. There's like a needle in there and there's like little teeny tiny buttons. Great for finishing. With the thingamabob, the pattern from Stephanie. I need to build beads like little pearls. Now I got them. Let's see. What else? Floss drops, floss drops, floss drops, floss drops. Okay, this is the other really cool thing that somebody passed out. I still have other stuff. Oh yeah. Oh, there's still more. So this is from Southern Yankee Stitcher, and she designed these. They're little note cards. Everybody got a stack, like a little stack, all put together with this cute little band. Like, these must have taken forever. And the envelopes. Okay. I got a copy. Barb, my table mate, gifted me a copy of the cookbook. Now, I have already bought this, so I am going to do a freebie. So if you have not gotten a copy of the cookbook from Market, this year's Market, so it does include patterns as well as recipes from several different designers. They are adorable. I love this. Like I said, if I didn't have it already, I would be keeping it, but I have this already. So if you are interested in it, how about we just use the word cookbook in your comment? Cookbook. Do not, you have to be over 18. I will ship even to the UK. Like, I don't care. I'll ship it, whatever. I'll ship it wherever. Don't use any of the buzz phrases that get the trolls. You know the words. You know, winner. Like, okay. Also know that I will not be asking, like, I will pull this, but like the winner, and we'll figure it out. But like, I'm not gonna ask you for money or anything like that. Let's see. We got an Ohio coaster, tile coaster in our bag. At the end, we got this cute little zipper thing to put together, and in there is a little black cat charm, so like for 310 the cat, and then a little bike one. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, there's bike. I got a crayon pen, twistable, which really feeds my inner child, who likes that stuff. I bought some Whisper because I had to have it to do the Santa hat, because, you know, why wouldn't you have it over the top, Kelly? I mean, of course. Okay, so here's a funny story. So this was in our bag, right? From StitchCon. I'm still not, actually, now that I look at it again, I'm not 100% sure what this is. What I was told it was not was a thing to pick up my chips while I was stitching. But I don't know what it is. I'm sure somebody told me, but I don't remember. Okay. The rest is mostly that's left in here is floss drop or are like the threads that I finish with or my thread wax. So, okay, so we got this freebie. Somebody's passing out a crown for every stitcher. How cute is that? I bought Tweethearts. I forget who showed this. Was it Pam? Was it Steph from Pam and Steph? Or was it Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch? I don't know. But the whole reason... Okay, first of all, it's adorable. Do I generally stitch Valentine's Day? You all know the answer to that, and that is no. But, can we just all take a second and just laugh our asses off? That's a little Cupid down there. That little Cupid is the only reason I bought this pattern. Because I'm not a big bird person. I'm not a Valentine's Day person. A stack of presents with a little Cupid shooting hearts. But I've been looking for this pattern. So yeah. Okay. I also bought Seaside Tiny Town. Because if I'm going to stitch a tiny town, you best be believing. And it comes with the little beads. How cute is that? I love that. Love that. Love that I don't have to go shopping and tracking down a bunch of other stuff. Beyond my flosses. Now they use classic color works, which yay, love me some. I don't like Weeks Dye Works threads. That's what I remembered. I'm not a big fan. To me they shred, and I just don't have the time and patience for it. But it also gives the DMC, so we'll see. That'll be one of those. I did pre-order the Just Keep Stitching Our Town or Any Town, Tiny Town. I forget what it is. So I've been wanting this. I wanted this one. I would really like to track down the JBW Seaside doodad. Because I would stitch that in a heartbeat as well. When am I going to start this? Not a clue. Not a clue. But I saved myself shipping by buying it this weekend. The other thing that I bought, and I bought the entire series because if you're going to buy one, you have to buy them all. Because, yeah. And they had them all. And, and that would be by Pedal Pusher. I've never stitched a Pedal Pusher before, but I will be stitching one now. I liked their spring little farm animals, and I had kicked it around, but I wasn't like gung ho on them. I saw these and I have to have them. Okay, like, hello, it's a scuba horse, a horse going scuba diving. Can you even? And that crab up top, hello. And then it's a surfing pig. Oh no, he's playing in the beach building sandcastles. The pig is building a sandcastle. We have a surfing sheep. We have lifeguard roosters. Lifeguarding roosters. And we have a cow on a surfboard. Cow on a surfboard. What's better is, hello. All of them together like that. Now, does anybody know if I haven't opened any of the charts. Do I have to go to her website to pull down that part? I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to figure it out. It's all the DMC. It uses DMC, and it's on a Picture This Plus. Now, my hope is that after I my hope is that after I finish stitching the Polar Plunge series, that I have enough of that fabric left over that maybe I can fit this row on that blue as well. Because it's only 75 high, but it's 247 wide. But when they count the 75 high, I wonder if that include. I think it would include the beach tee because you're not stitching then the little individual crab on top of each of them. So I have this. Okay, so we're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. Where am I? Okay, so I go looking at the freebie table every once in a while, and because that's what you do at stitchcon. And I found this. And if you've stitched long enough, you are very well versed in the Precious Moments Gloria and Pat series. And if you are like me and you have stitched long enough, you have probably stitched at least one of these. So, Rena and I were talking, and I am going to stitch this. The pattern is included. I am going to stitch them, but I am going to add the phrase, "It's you I dislike the least." So yeah, there's that. Because I think it's funny. And then Kim, I'm not sure if this is the book you were looking for, but now I own, thanks to the freebie table, Holly Hobby. Now I loved Holly Hobby as a kid, but stay with me for a moment. If we do a little bit of color changing into reds, we have Offred. So I may be doing that. The irony, now that I look at it, okay, so here's the irony on the back. If I still wanted to keep the red patchwork Holly Hobby. Although I do want to, I would like to stitch the blue, like traditional Holly Hobby. But she might get stitched twice. Okay, so here's the other thing I did at StitchCon. Because I'm me. And welcome to the life of Kelly that is all but fun and chaos. And I believe I got the idea a while back from Steel City Stitchers. I don't want to take all the credit for this. And if my memory serves me correctly, Jody would go to the freebie table and she would pull just some really old pattern that you're like, what the heck? And she would go up to somebody and she'd go, you know, when I saw this, I thought of you. And I would love to see you stitch this. And then she would hand them the god awful pattern. And the challenge would have been laid down. And I thought that was hysterical. And so I did this to a couple people. And so Rin got a pattern. And that's what started it. And I gifted Candace K a pattern. And I gifted a pattern to Pam from In the Land of Good. And a couple other people got a pattern. And you know, remarkably, poor Pam from Just Keep Stitching. You know, I tried to give her a pattern, but let's be honest, Pam has got a lot of her own whips, so she didn't really need an extra one. But I think Pam from In the Land of Good Enough was laughing so hard. I'm pretty sure the poor woman had tears in her eyes. Oh, I gave Tracy from OG Stitchery one. Pam from the Land of Good Enough got a Hummel pattern. OG Tracy from OG Stitchery got this set of ornaments and this really, really scary, creepy angel on it. Rin's was plastic canvas. And one of the plastic canvases is a gingerbread where the top comes off. And it's filled with like these, the candies it's filled with are just awful. Candace probably got the easiest one. And it's just these little weird stockings, but the fabric in the picture just It's just awful. I gifted somebody else a hot air, like a totally 80s, late 80s, early 90s hot air balloon. And I'm like, look, you can change the colors. You can add a saying. You can take away a saying. You can change the saying. Whatever you want to do. And I'm like, but I can't wait to see it next year on the brag table at StitchCon. So I thought I was safe. Because while people were accepting the challenges and were laughing, I mean, we were all just rolling with laughter. And, you know, I'm glad that my friends have the same weird sorts of sense of adventure, I guess, and laughability. Um, Somebody at my own table who wouldn't take the challenge from me laid down a challenge to me, and she gifted me this lovely pattern. Okay, but here's the thing. I remember back in the day, these cups were like $1.99 at Michael's, and you pop the lid, like this white part off. They hold like 2 ounces of nothing in them, and you can't, like, you have to take them apart to wash them because otherwise the water like leaks into there. And you stitch them on this, if I recall, on this weird plasticky Ada, but it's not plastic canvas. It's weird. Anyways, um, so I remember stitching these. I've stitched these like back in the day, in the before times. So this is my challenge. So I think we should do this to more people. Like, I think that we as stitchers, that, you know, when we go to these, because otherwise what's going to happen to these booklets? Like, I mean, at some point they're going to end up in a landfill because you can only carry so, like, what are you going to do with them? So I have a year till StitchCon 2024. But what I've also decided is anytime that I run across a retro booklet like this, be it at a stitching convention, I'm going to keep doing this. So just so you know, that if you're going to a stitching event or where there may be a freebie table, um, I may do this to you. I may pass you a stitch and say, hey, see what you can do with it. Make it fun. Because, I mean, come on. Those mice, I mean, they're kind of cute. Okay, what I'm really eyeballing is the fruit babies. And I think honestly, out of here, I'm 99% sure I'm going to stitch the fruit babies. They're not going to say, hey, cutie, fruity, tootie on him. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to I'm going to stitch the fruit babies. But yeah. Uh-huh. It shouldn't take that long. I mean, it's 53 by 38. I mean, it won't take long at all to stitch. I can't imagine. But I feel like I should revive the fruit babies. I don't know how I'm gonna finish it though. What may be fun is if I have some extra cash, is I'm gonna stitch the fruit babies. I made it. I may leave off. Well, I'm gonna leave off this saying, but I may not add another saying. I may just randomly send them to keepsakes to finish and just go, here's your stitching allotment to finish it. Have at it. So yeah. So I think that we should all do this. So I'm gonna highly encourage you at your next retreat to do this. So somebody just go up to and go. Because here's the thing. They're either gonna look at you like, what on God's green earth were you thinking when you saw this and you associated it with me? Or they're gonna think that is the funniest challenge ever and totally take it on. I don't know. But I mean, come on. I'm sure that everybody who is my age or close to it stitched a bunny with a cow on wheels at some point. We all did. We all did. Because that's what was readily available back then. Because I don't know about everybody else, but when I was a kid and learned how to stitch at summer camp, because I didn't want to go hiking through the woods with the bugs, it's really and truly how I learned how to cross stitch. I did arts and crafts instead. Like the only place my mom knew about, because my mom wasn't a stitcher. Nobody else in my family is a cross stitcher. You could go to Michael's or Joann's or Minnesota Fabrics back then in my area, and that was it. And what was available? Daisy Kingdom, Precious Moments, and if you were, it's just like if you were really fancy during the holidays, you stitch those little ornaments with the gold plastic hoops, and you stitched them on red or green Ada. Like that was like you were fancy. That's a sign of fancy. And if you were like a highly skilled stitcher, you'd have the DMC Gold collections. You'd have Teresa Wensler and Paula Vaughn. But we all like, come on. I'm 51. This reeks of what I stitched as a kid. So yeah, so I'm going to stitch the fruit babies. I don't know how I'm going to finish them. I'm going to probably add some snarky saying underneath them. Sounds I'm actually thinking that, okay, so my friend Emily absolutely does not want children. Like, if she could have her whole entire reproductive system yanked out through her nose, she would do it, right? She would. She would do it. Like, that's how much she does not want children. Does she love children? Yeah. Like, she's great with my kids. My kids are older, but she's known them since they were for several years now. She's actually nannied. She's a fantastic nanny. Does she want them of her own? Nope. And she has often used the phrase crotch fruit when referring to children. And that made me say. And I may like stitch it, and depending on how big, I may make it look like it has like an award winner. I give it to Emily. Because Emily would absolutely laugh. And then when I'm done with the crotch fruit, the fruit babies, I may pass this booklet along, so you never know. If you have given me your address at some point, you may get a stitched booklet in a challenge. Like, have fun. Because sometimes we just need one of those things. It's kind of like when I belonged to a quilt guild, and every year they would pick, and I swear they would find the most god-awful fabric ever, because everybody would get it. And we'd all, like, you'd pay in $1. It might have been more than $1. And you would get, like, 2 fat quarters, or 2 fat eighths. Or it might have been a fat quarter and a fat eighth. I don't know. And there would be an overarching theme. But the fabric was always like, did you find this at the bottom of the barrel? This is the ugliest. And they would not go together, like, at first glance at all. And that was always, like, the challenge. And you would literally have, like, 9 months to take on the challenge. Did we do it through the summer and then you come back in the fall? Could have been. I don't know. It's been years. The kids were babies. And I feel like this is that version, like, of, like, this is the quilter's version of that year-long challenge. Like, and all the money would go to, like, prizes that we would do, like, at our end of the year banquet. But it would also, like, a lot of it would go to charity. And I don't mind, like, so that's why I always did it, just because if nothing else, the money went to charity. Like, we helped out a lot of charity and stuff. So, but I'm sure, like, in my stash, although for a long time I didn't cross stitch, and so I got rid of a bunch of stuff, but I'm pretty sure that somewhere in my stash I probably have like patterns that like, yeah, that we could pass. So yeah, so like, so that's the new challenge. So I totally encourage you, like, when you are going to events that have freebie tables, just give something that you might think that people might like, because you never know what people are going to do with them. So, but if we can keep them kind of out of landfills and making them more fun, then who knows what's going to happen. And if nothing else, like, look, I may just stitch the fruit babies as they are and make them into, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll design some more fruit babies to go with the 3 fruit babies there, and then I'll have a whole row, then I'll make a drum for my fruit babies. I don't know. I don't know. William's over here dying laughing. He thinks it's funny.
What?
He strolled. So on the way home from StitchCon, I stopped at Jungle Gyms. If you are driving to StitchCon and have some extra time, I understand if you're flying and you can't, like, take like a cooler worth of stuff with you. Stopping at Jungle Gyms in Cincinnati is well worth the time. I will say allocate a lot of time. It is huge, and there is, like, aisle upon aisle of things that you will have never seen anywhere, like at any other normal grocery store. All sorts of international food. So I was able to, um, I got him a new hot sauce to try, and I got him zombie brain juice and Martian mucus juice. He likes I got him zombie brain juice last year, if you guys recall, and he actually really likes it. It's strawberry orange soda.
It's really good.
It's sweet. It's really good though. It actually is really good.
If you want.
So we got fairy princess soda because, why not? But unicorn yak. I mean, like,
You gotta get.
but then we also got um a new hot sauce for him to try. I got some
Oh, Skittles.
I got some Skittles from Japan in weird flavors, and I can't read the package, so I don't know quite what flavors they are. Now, William did take it upon himself to Google it, so he knows, but I don't have a clue.
Oh, I didn't Google them. I just looked at the back.
I just
There's jasmine flavor. There's oolong. I looked at the ingredients to see what extracts there are. There's jasmine oolong. This one is a gummy one.
yeah, they're gummy Skittles.
And I'm like, that's crazy.
So
and this one literally just says right in the back, right here, right. The first 6 are it. There's a jasmine flavor. There's a passion fruit flavor. A strawberry flavor.
So I got those.
Green tea flavor.
Got some other things like that we like. My friend who just moved back from, like, was in Ireland. I got him some stuff that's not available here, but was his mom is missing. Now that they moved back here, she misses them. So I was like, I'm gonna surprise her with a little basket of goodies. I got my pink pineapple. If you guys have not tried a pink pineapple, y'all need to track one down. It is so yum. It doesn't take, like, so a normal pineapple really bothers my stomach and my head, actually. Last year they came in a box. These did not come in a box, and they whacked the top off, which kind of makes me sad, but whatever. It's called a pink glow pineapple.
No, it's actually pink inside.
It is really pink inside. It's super sweet. It's sweet, and it does not have the same acidity, so it doesn't bother my stomach or my head. And I could literally eat that whole pineapple in one sitting. It's so good. So good. So I actually got 2. And I got some other things. I got some yummy treats for the dogs. I got some treats for the guinea pigs, and I got Houdini a treat because, they're my children too. They're fur babies. So, okay, this is going on like 2 hours long, and I don't. the last time I did a 2-hour long video was my whip parade. So good God in heaven. So all that to say is, yes, I'm going to, I will go to stitchcon next year, all things financially provided and health provided. Oh, this is the other thing I got at Jungle Gyms. I will go back. I will be making some changes so that my mental health is prepared and is protected, and I think there's value in that. I'm really proud of the progress that I made on the stitches that I did touch. I'm glad I took what I took because it gave me options. I'm also glad that I got to have some of these talks with some of the people, and if you had one of those talks with me, you know who you are, and that's all that matters. And I think the friends who came up to me and said, if we need to do an intervention with you, we will. But quite frankly, you're doing too much. And I am. I'm burned out. In all honesty and total transparency, I am. I'm totally burned out. And I'm not the only one in my program right now. It's ironic that the other person who is as burnt out as I am is also a mom and is got a lot on her plate with having a sick father, and some close relatives in her family have had hospice called and set up for them, and and we're older students, so there's a different level of responsibilities, and trying to be full-time lawyer and full-time student and full-time mom and full-time this and full-time that, like, it's a lot. And so yes, to those of you who came up to me and had those talks, your voice was heard, and things are going to be changing. And for those of you who heard about my form being signed and all of that news and cheered with me, thank you. It is a huge honor and a huge deal. And the only thing I'm bummed is that I won't be going to DC to actually do the swearing in ceremony. Part of the problem is with we're still timing with COVID and whatnot, but you also are only allowed one person in to watch you be sworn in, and it's like, which one of my kids do I pick? Like, do I? It's so. But yeah, so the other thing was funny. The court had sent me out a docket for Monday, so I was anticipating going to court tomorrow with a client, and then also with a mentor in the afternoon to interpret. Tomorrow is Juneteenth, and so Friday, late morning, early afternoon, we got a notice like, yeah, we totally forgot. There's no Monday. Court is closed. It's like, oh, thank God. So on Monday, I actually may pull out either Ask Not or Harriet Tubman to work on. So I did work. Okay, so I showed you the little gingerbread. Before I forget, I showed you the little gingerbread house last. I did not work today on the sing-a-song sampler. I did work a little bit on all the back stitching on my little 3D tree house, which was my pull for last week. But you can't even see it. Can't see it. I'm likely to leave this one out and try to really push for a finish, kind of like I've done with some of the other ones. My other Whipco pull is Buffet mat. I don't know if I worked on it after the last floss tube, but before I left. I don't remember honestly, but we'll look at it next week because next week I'll have for sure worked on it. So this next week's Whipco pull, not Whipco, 52 card whip pickup is the Nine of Hearts. The Nine of Hearts. There really is a Nine of Hearts, unlike the One of Spades. There's no One of Spades. Ooh. And for me, that's the Addams Family sale. I started this one back in 2020 with Emily, and I'm pretty sure Emily hasn't even started. I'm not much further along. Like, I probably have about 200 stitches in on it. So that'll be good to pull out. But I'm gonna go to bed because I'm absolutely flipping exhausted. In fact, coming home at one point, I actually pulled off into a parking lot of Kohl's and slept in their parking lot for about an hour. So tomorrow morning I'm going to get up and I have to confirm a client appointment for later that afternoon that will kind of dictate the rest of the day. But I'm gonna have to clean up all of this and organize. But now I have a bunch more floss drops, and I needed a bunch more floss drops because I have a bunch of stuff that needs to get organized, like all the threads for Buffet mat, which would make it a lot easier to work on. So with that said, if you need anything, feel free to reach out to me at His Princess Kelly on Instagram, or you can reach out to me here. You can reach out to me on Facebook. You can shoot me an email. I know that when I'm going to upload this, and then I will go back probably tomorrow at some point, and I will add in and tag Kia, Pam, all of the peoples. Hopefully, if I remember everybody. And if nothing else, go check out my Instagram, His Princess Kelly. So all of that, I'll put all the information that I can remember down in the box below. So if you're still with me, thank you for sticking to the end. Thank you for sharing the tears. Thank you for sharing the laughter. The joke still with the periodic table is, it's just small. It's just small. It's a small project. It was smaller in my head and it fit on one piece of paper. But my goal this year still is to get the grid in so that next year I can just start filling in the elements, which would be really cool. And I think, honestly, we're on track. I think we should be able to do it. So, or pretty darn close to it. So, with that, good night.